Hello, welcome to chair yoga. For this style of yoga, you will need a chair. Excuse me. A straight back chair or a folding chair, not a lazy boy or a recliner, something that you can move around. If you have them, some yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, no worries. You probably have a stack of books nearby. A yoga strap, if you have it. If not, a general belt works just fine. And a blanket. If you can't find a blanket, a coat works great as well. So chair yoga has its benefits, mainly that it's perfect for beginners. It's great for anyone who is too busy to roll out a yoga mat. And our modern lifestyles are so centered around the chair. We typically are in this position for most of the day. Being able to find a way to increase range of motion and find activity with the chair is more important than ever. First thing we're going to want to do is get rid of our shoes. So if you are wearing shoes, even if you're in the office right now, go ahead and get rid of them. Let the feet be free. The shoes don't serve us very well as far as strengthening the little micro muscles that are in our ankles and feet that help us with stability, help us with our balance, keeping us upright. So we want to make sure that the feet are nice and free. Sit tall in your chair. So you might notice that I'm sitting away from the back, actually on the edge of my chair, sitting nice and tall, actually engaging some muscles to lift up through the chest and roll the shoulders back. Because typically when we are at the computer or when we're driving, we're in this forward flexion pose. We want to counteract that by rolling the shoulders back and sitting nice and tall. We'll start today with a breathing technique called the Dirga breath. The Dirga breath is a diaphragmatic breathing exercise, and it uses the entire torso, the full abdomen to breathe. Even though I know we don't have lungs down here, we're going to actually inhale so we expand the whole belly. So imagine that you are a water balloon and you are filling your torso with breath. You could even bring your hands down to the lowest part of your abdomen to feel it push out as we begin to inhale. Fill the deepest part of the torso into the belly, into the chest, all the way to the face, and empty from the top down. Empty the face, empty the throat, let it go from the chest and the belly, and draw in the lowest part of the abdomen. Inhale from the bottom of the abdomen, into the belly, into the chest, all the way up to the face, and exhale from the top down. Let the breath spill away naturally, empty the belly, finally squeeze in this lowest part of the abdomen. Again, fill up from the bottom to the middle, to the top, and empty from the top all the way down, little squeeze. Moving into our first warm-up exercises. These are called cat-cows. They can be done standing or they can be done right where we are on the chair. We'll start here. Sit nice and tall. Take an inhale into cow. Lift the chin, lift the chest, a deep arch through the spine. Exhale, cat, tuck the chin, draw the belly in, round through the spine. This is cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale, cat, tuck the chin, draw the belly in, tuck the tailbone, round the shoulders forward. Inhale back into cow. Exhale, cat. Continue this on the chair, or if you'd like to see the standing version, essentially we use the chair seat as a prop. Finding a nice flat spine, cat-cows can be done from here as well. The movement through the spine is the same. Linking the breath with the movement as we inhale into cow, nose up and tail up. Exhale, cat, tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, draw the belly in, round up through the spine. Inhale back into cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. If you're standing, soften the knees, draw the belly in, and slowly roll up one bone at a time. Neck stretches. Sit at the edge of your chair with a very tall spine, shoulders rolled back and chin lifted. Allow the right ear to melt down towards the right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder pressing down so both shoulders are in line. If you want a little extra intensity, you can bring the right arm over the head. No pulling, please. Simply allow the weight of the hand and the arm to accentuate the stretch through the neck and the shoulders. The chest stays lifted, shoulders rolled back, nice tall spine, lots of breath. Use the right hand to bring the head back to center. We just created space to the left side. We don't want to use those muscles right away. Grow nice and tall. Allow the left ear to melt down towards the left shoulder. Keeping the right shoulder pressing down creates space through the neck and the shoulder. If you want a little extra intensity, the left arm adds just a little bit of weight to the top of the head. No pulling, please. Use the left hand to bring the head back to center. Interlace the hands back behind to cradle the head. As we lift the chest up, we're not dropping the head back as much as we're stretching the front side of the body, the chest and the throat and the shoulders. Lots of big full breaths here. Use the hands to bring the head back to center. For the forward stretch, we actually want to lift the chest up towards the chin even more than we bring the chin to the chest. You can stay right here, or if you're craving a little more intensity, you can interlace the fingers and bring it behind the head. We're looking for a nice stretch through the back of the head, the neck, and the shoulders. Rise back up, roll the shoulders backwards, roll the shoulders forwards. Now we'll find a strap or a belt works just fine. Bring it into your right hand, bring the hand up over the body, bend the elbow so the palm comes down right to the center of your back. The left arm comes behind you and start to work the fingertips closer and closer together. Now, if you have a lot of range of motion, you'll be able to actually reach your fingertips. If not, simply do the best you can. Remember, no pain allowed in yoga. Keep the chest lifted. Release the lower hand and the upper hand. Other side. Bring the strap or a belt to your left hand, up over the head and back behind you. Right arm comes from beneath. Don't be surprised if it's a little different experience on this side. Shoulders typically have a different range of motion. Simply try to match the same intensity on this side. Keep the chest lifted, the spine nice and tall. Release the lower hand, release the upper hand. Another little roll for the shoulders, roll them back, roll them forward. Wrists and arms. Activate the arms out like airplane arms, fingers pointed up. Press through the heels of your hand, really activate the arms. Engage isometrically. That means we hug muscle to bone, squeezing the biceps, squeezing all the way down the arms, through the heels of the hands. Now point the fingers down and push out through the tops of the wrists. Really engage and stretch the arms apart. One more time, fingers up. Push out through the heels of the hands. Squeeze and push. And fingers down. Push out through the tops of the wrists. Keep hugging muscle to bone as we extend the arms out wide. Now roll the wrists one way. Switch and roll the opposite way. And shake it out. Interlace the fingers and bring your elbows together to touch. Make little circles with the knuckles. Especially for those of us that use our hands a lot, using the computer or the mouse, this is helping to loosen up all the ligaments and tendons through the fingers and the wrists. Go ahead and switch directions here. Now turn the palms inside out. Bring the palms up overhead. Nice long stretch. Bring the palms over to the right. Release, rise up, over to the left. Release to center and let it go. Shake it out. Ankles and legs. Begin by extending your right leg long. Now point the toe. Flex the foot. Point and flex. Point the toe. Flex the foot. Now circle the foot in one direction. Switch directions, other way. And release. Left leg. Extend the leg long. Point the toe. Flex the foot. Point and flex. Point the toe. Flex the foot. And circle. Switch directions. Release. Some strengthening now. Extend the right leg forward to float above the floor. If you can, bring both knees in line. If this is too much, you can lift the heel just so it's right off the floor. Just do what you can today. Once again, point the toe and flex. Point and flex. One more time, point the toe, flex the foot, circle the ankle one way, circle the ankle the other way, and release. Other side, extend the left leg, floating the heel above the floor or bringing both knees in line. Point the toe and flex. Point and flex. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. Point the toe. Flex the foot. And circle one direction. Circle the other direction. Release. Now, both legs. You can lift them right above the floor. Feel free to use your chair as leverage. Lift them up as high as you can, but still keep a nice lift through the spine and through the chest. Point the toes and flex. Point the toes and flex. Last time, point the toes and flex. Release down. Nice job. Floating chair pose. Lean forward, rise up to stand. Bring arms overhead. Now begin to sit down, but don't allow the hips to actually touch. Take an inhale here. And rise back up. Once again, begin to sit down, but don't go all the way. Float right above the chair. And rise back up. One more time. Slowly sink down towards the chair. Hover. And rise back up. Arms by your sides. Downward facing dog. Using the chair today, we have several options. You can start by sitting on the edge of the chair. Down dog is great for lengthening the spine and the sides of the body. As we sit up nice and tall, you can keep your hands right on your thighs. As you begin to lean forward, keep the spine nice and long. We're engaging a lot of core here. You can keep the hands on the thighs for support, or you can extend the arms forward to lengthen through the sides of the body and the shoulders, dialing up the intensity through the core work. One more breath here as we activate through the fingertips. Bring the hands to the thighs and rise back up. We get a second set. Feel free to do the second set just as the first in a seated position, or if you'd like to try it standing using the chair, we'll use the chair seat as a prop. Grip the edges of the seat for the standing version, and you can start with the hips right over the heels, simply lengthening the arms forward and flattening the spine. We have a second variation. You can grip the edges of the chair and actually walk the feet forward, leaning back through the hips to lengthen through the spine. Wherever you are in your down dog, take one more breath. Release, and rise back up. Virabhadrasana, our warrior poses, can be done right from the chair. Slide your hips forward so you're right on the edge of the chair. Turn towards the right and bring the right leg so the foot is flat on the ground. Start to extend the left leg back. See if you can straighten the leg so the whole foot touches the floor behind you. You can reach back behind and use the back of the chair for additional support. If available, bring the left arm high, reaching up through the fingertips, and if you can, release both arms high. This is a big pose. Warrior pose is a powerful pose, gaining stability through the lower body as we spread the legs, reach up high through the fingertips. Feel free at any time to bring the right hand back down to the chair edge, the chair back, for stability. Warrior 2, open up the arms, reaching each set of fingertips away from the other so even the shoulder blades peel apart. Again, feel free to bring the right hand down for stability. Do what you can today. We're taking up a lot of space here, extending the fingertips in two opposite directions. And release. Come back to neutral. Other side. Pivot towards the left. We're going to keep the left knee bent, foot flat on the floor. Right leg starts to reach back behind. As we super straighten the back leg, we're also trying to bring the whole foot down to touch the floor. Spreading the legs nice and wide. We can use the chair back for stability. As we move into Warrior 1, right arm reaches high. If possible, maybe we bring both arms high. One more big breath here. Then exhale and open up, Warrior 2. At any point, you can release the hand down to stabilize. Engage isometrically, squeezing the muscle to hug the bone, reaching fingertips in two opposite directions. And release. Come back to center. Roll the shoulders back. Roll the shoulders forward. Warrior 3 pose. We'll use the back of the chair for support here. Start to walk the hips backwards until you can flatten the spine. You can either grab the chair or you can allow the wrists to simply prop over the top of the chair edge. Now extend the right toes back. Maybe you keep the toes touching the ground, or if possible, if we can lift the leg up, bringing the body into a capital T shape. Now flex the foot so the toes point down towards the floor. This helps us square the hips. One more breath wherever you are. And lower down. Other side. Start to walk the left leg back. You can keep the toes touching the floor. Eventually, one day, we'll be able to lift the leg up. And when we do, flex the foot so the toes point down towards the floor. We're trying to keep the hips squaring the floor, so the left hip kind of bumps down a little bit to match the right. Release down. Soften the knees, draw the belly in, and slowly roll up. Eagle pose. Sit nice and tall at the edge of your seat. Identify your right leg and cross it over the left. If possible, you might even be able to wrap the right ankle around the back of the left ankle. If not, just stay right where you are. Bring arms overhead. Identify your right hand and swing it underneath the left. Cross at the elbows, the forearms, and the wrists. If this is not available, go for the bear hug. We're trying to cut off circulation on purpose. It's known as the tourniquet effect. It's the best thing ever for the joints. Wherever you are right now, squeeze tight. Hug all the limbs together. If available, you might even lift the fingertips up to deepen the stretch through the shoulders. Release the arms, release the legs. Other side. Cross the left leg over the right. You can stay here or go for the double wrap if available. Arms overhead. Identify your left arm, swing it underneath. Wrap up as tightly as you can. Sit nice and tall. Engage your breath. And if available, you might even lift the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Release the arms, release the legs. Prone poses. Beginning with a restorative pose known as child's pose. Walk the hips backwards onto your seat. Find a nearby blanket or pillow. Even a purse could work here. Bring it into the belly and simply round forward, crossing the forearms to bring the forehead right to the forearms. Use the breath as a tool to create space and a gentle stretch through the back and the rib cage. Draw the belly in and roll up one bone at a time. Roll the shoulders up and down the back. Forward fold inversion. Walk the hips back forward onto the edge of the chair. Feet are flat on the floor. If you need, you can always bring the floor up to you by using some blocks. Grow nice and tall through the spine, and then allow the body to soften down between the legs. You can also use the blocks for the hands if you choose. We're trying to bring the head lower than the hips if possible. Draw the belly in, roll up one bone at a time. The shoulders the last that rise up, and then roll down the back. Seated pigeon pose. Begin by crossing the right ankle over the left knee. Flex the foot to protect that knee. You can grow nice and tall, and feel free to stay right here. If you notice plenty of stretch, perhaps this is where you should stay. If you'd like to take it deeper, you can find a nearby blanket, a pillow, a purse, a jacket, literally anything to soften forward, essentially hugging over some softness. Feel free to use some nearby blocks. Stay connected with your breath. Draw the belly in and rise all the way back up. Release the right leg long. Bring the left ankle to cross the right thigh. Flex the foot, grow tall, and simply round forward, melting down, either rounding over your blanket or perhaps bringing your hands to some blocks. Draw the belly in and rise back up. We'll move into our final Shavasana using the chair. Yes, even Shavasana can be accomplished in a chair. Using a blanket or even a long jacket. Roll the blanket long ways and bring it behind the head. As the blanket comes over the shoulders, tuck it under your armpits and bring the arms around to kind of hold it in place. From here, as we lean back, try to find a very comfortable neutral position. Stretch the legs long. Take your final relaxation pose. The benefits of chair yoga include increased circulation. It relieves stiffness, improves mental state and clarity of thought. It improves flexibility and range of motion, increases body awareness, relieves stress and releases tension in the body, and it can be done anywhere, anytime.